Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Uncle Yeow and the Singapore Story. Now, if you remember, in episode 7, we talked about public housing, how it was a critical, important success factor uh, in the 50s and 60s. And then followed by episode 8, when we talk about national defense and security, because after independence and after we have been forced out of Malaysia, and then the British announced their withdrawal, so we do not have a defense force, and that's where our defense and security were critical issues that we have to solve. And then in episode 9, we rounded up with total defense, which is our defense platform to incorporate all the different services under one roof, and that's total defense. Now in today's episode 10, we'll be talking about another critical success factor that was critically important in the times, and that is economy. Now, we have spoken about 1959, when the PAP government won a landslide victory in the general election, and Lee Kuan Yew became our first prime minister. All right. Even though at that time it was only self-government and not independence. And after that, after we were forced out of Malaysia in 1965 on the 9th of August, that's where we truly became independent on our own. Now, our economy were in dire straits. It was an extremely difficult time. So how did we manage to overcome all the difficulties, especially in building up our Singapore economy? Now, when we talk about Singapore economy, it's very important to recognize one person, all right? And that person is this individual by the name of Dr. Goh Keng Swee. Now, who is Dr. Goh Keng Swee? Now, he is actually the economic architect, defense architect, and also education architect. He's actually the right-hand man of Lee Kuan Yew. So he's a very important person who helps to manage to build up our economy. Now, at the time, in the 50s and 60s, for all the newly independent countries, they were very distrustful of all the foreign MNCs and their investment. But in the case of Singapore, no. We actually welcome foreign direct investment, especially foreign MNCs, with open arms. Not only did we create such a beneficial environment for them, all right, pioneer industry status, we even have got portion land and other amenities to help them to set up in Singapore. And that's why we were able to attract a lot of foreign investment. All right. And this is how we set up Jurong Industrial Estate as the first industrial estate to attract foreign investment. So you can see from here, all right, this is where all the multinationals came to Singapore to set up factories and create jobs for our people back then. So that's how we got our economy started. But in remembering our foreign direct investment and our economy, we should not forget another individual. And that is this person here. Now, who is he? He's actually a Dutch economist by the name of Albert Winsemius. Now, Albert Winsemius was actually a United Nations official economic advisor to Singapore from 1961 to 1984. And he has contributed a lot to our Singapore economy. Now, his advice on our economy were actually taken up by the government. So, we must therefore be thankful to this individual, Dr. Albert Winsemius, for his contribution to our economy. And that's what, at a time when people were dead against foreign direct investment, we were the first to actually welcome foreign direct investment. In fact, today, everybody wants foreign direct investment, and they go out of their way to actually attract foreign direct investment. Now, today, Singapore's economy, why is it? It's actually considered an economic miracle to the rest of the world. And our economy is one of the most stable in the world. We don't have any foreign debt. We have high government revenue and a consistently positive surplus. That's what makes our economy very strong. Now, our economy is mainly driven by exports in the electronics and manufacturing sector, petrochemical sector, and even the pharmaceutical sectors. Coupled with that, we have financial services, tourism, and we are actually the world's busiest cargo seaport. In fact, we are the largest transshipment seaport in the world. So these are some of the sectors and some of the economies. Now, Singapore, if you remember, one of the very important lessons is we always turn our disadvantage into our advantage. Give you an example. We do not produce one single drop of oil, but we are actually the third largest oil refinery in the world. All right, we do not produce natural gas, but we are now a major natural gas storage and trading hub. So Singapore, just remember, we always turn our disadvantage into our advantage. For example, when we became independent, we don't have water. Water we need to import from Malaya. But over the years, we have now developed 4 national taps. All right, seawater desalination, new water, and then water catchment area to capture all the rain. And last but not least, we still import some water from Malaya. But by 2061, when the last water agreement expires, we do not need the water from Malaya anymore. So this is how we managed to overcome the odds, and we managed to strengthen our economy over the years. Now, it is also very important to talk about Changi Airport. Why? Because Changi Airport make a world of difference to our economy. Previously, we were at Paya Lebar Airport, but it was too small to handle the growing demand in terms of passenger arrivals. So it was decided, and Lee Kuan Yew was the one who pushed for it, to move airport to Changi. And in 1981, Changi Airport was opened. And therefore, you can see that today, Changi Airport is actually one of the largest and most successful, most recognized and decorated airport in the world. All right. And of course, we don't stop there. We created what is called the Jewel at Changi, and now it becomes a very iconic tourist attraction that is well known throughout the world. Okay, as you can see over here, this is how the Jewel looks like, and it attracts tourists from all over the world. In fact, you can spend 24 hours at the Changi Airport and you still won't be bored. Alright, there are so many things to do with Terminal 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now we are even embarking on Terminal 5. Now Singapore, we have always stayed ahead of the curve. We anticipate growth and therefore we plan for it. And that is one of the critical success factors why we can do so well in our economy. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a better understanding of how we managed to overcome the odds. Even after we left Malaysia, we do not have a hinterland in Malaysia. But today, the world is actually our hinterland. And therefore, we can expect our economy, once we stay ahead of the curve, we can expect our economy to remain strong going forward. That's all I'd like to share with you. Next episode, we'll be talking about some societal issues that need to be overcome after we became independent. So with that, this is Uncle Yeow saying Thank you very much and goodbye.